Good morning. I'll thank you also. You've taken a week out of your lives. As Mr. Osborne said in his opening, that's what makes the jury system work, and we truly appreciate it. Thank you. Ms. McMahon, kind of at the close of her argument, used a word, vengeance. The state is not prosecuting Anissa Weier for vengeance. No one is here looking for vengeance. What this is really all about is the truth. That's what we're looking for. Ms. McMahon, in her opening few remarks, stated that this had to be done. Anissa knew there was danger. And when Morgan told her about, well, Slender Man might get us or our families, it doesn't really matter. Yes, it does. It absolutely matters. Mr. Smith told you in his opening statement, Anissa could not conform her conduct to the requirements of the law because she needed to protect herself and her family from immediate and inescapable harm from Slender Man. They told you they would prove to you that that was the case. The only problem is it's not true. There is no evidence to show that it's true. She did not believe it at the time they tried to kill Payton.
I really think about this when I didn't know I was in danger until after Morgan died.
The silly thing about this was, I didn't know I was in danger until after Morgan stabbed Payton. The whole defense here is premised upon the fact that they had to kill Payton or Slender Man would kill them or their families. It was kill or be killed. It's just not true. The silly thing about this was, I didn't know I was in danger until after Morgan stabbed Payton. That's what she told Detective Trussoni within hours of this offense happening. Detective Trussoni told you that Anissa was very calm and composed during the interview. She told Detective Trussoni she wanted to prove the skeptics wrong. Not we were in danger, not that Slender Man was going to kill me, not that Slender Man was going to kill my family. She told you that Anissa told her that in December or January, Morgan said, hey, Anissa, we should be proxies. And Anissa said, okay, how? Well, we have to kill Payton. Anissa said she was surprised by that, but also excited. Let's look at some of the things that she told Dr. Westendorf about this. She told Dr. Westendorf that in October of 2013, she was desperate for a friend. And I don't agree with any of the things that Ms. McMahon told you about Anissa's home life and parents' divorce and how that affected her. But it's the relationship that grew out of that with Morgan that played a large part in what happened here. She told Dr. Westendorf that she met Morgan. She clung to Morgan for dear life. Anissa was the one that introduced Morgan to creepypasta, but what she told Dr. Westendorf was that in February of 2014, Morgan told Anissa that they should become proxies, and they should kill Payton to become proxies. Anissa told Dr. Westendorf that she didn't want Morgan to feel crazy, so she said yeah. So at least when Morgan first tells Anissa this, she thinks it's crazy. She doesn't want Morgan to feel that way. Anissa wanted Morgan to trust her. She didn't want to alienate Morgan. Anissa didn't think Morgan was serious. They wouldn't literally try to kill Payton. They began planning. Anissa told Dr. Westendorf it was exciting to talk about, like discovering something new. They spoke about these plans almost every day. There were times Anissa thought about calling it off, but they were too far in. Morgan was planning this whole thing out. Morgan was building this up. Anissa didn't want to pull the rug out from under her. She just followed Morgan because Morgan was doing most of the work. Said again, I didn't think we were going to try to kill her. Does this sound like a kill or be killed situation? That they killed Payton because Slender Man was going to kill them or their families? That's not what was going on. There's no evidence of it. You have the opportunity to review all of the doctor's reports if you want, and nowhere in Dr. Westendorf's report does Anissa tell Dr. Westendorf that this was kill or be killed. It's not in Dr. Westendorf's report. And I want to talk about what the doctors have said, because as Mr. Osborne told you in our opening statement, we do disagree with the doctors. We believe their conclusions are faulty because it's based on faulty information. We'll start with Dr. Caldwell because I think he did a really good job of explaining a delusion versus a delusional disorder. What he said was that what makes a delusional disorder is the compulsion element, feeling that you have to act. And he stated, and here, Anissa felt she had to kill Payton because of the threat to the life of her and her family. And it's this compulsion that led them to conclude that Anissa was not able to conform her conduct to the requirements of the law. Dr. Westendorf in her report uses the same terminology of compulsion. She says on page 24, they struggled psychologically with the internal conflict of intellectually understanding that their behavior was wrong, but feeling compelled to perform the alleged act for their own safety and the safety of their families. So it's this compulsion, this feeling that you have to act. And Dr. Van Rybrock talked about the same thing. He talked about how Anissa was painted into this terrible corner, and that the only reason she didn't comply was this need to protect herself and her family. It's not true. It's simply not true. The silly thing about this was, I didn't know I was in danger until after Morgan stabbed Payton. This is not kill or be killed. This is not, I have to act. This is, as Mr. Osborne stated in opening statement, a want. Ms. McMahon said she had to. It's not the case. It was a want. As I indicated, what they told you that they would prove here and that they would make you reasonably certain of was that Anissa believed she needed to protect herself and her family from immediate and irreparable harm from Slender Man. Was this immediate? Kill or be killed? Well, let's see. It started in December, January, February, I'm not exactly sure, but we have February. They didn't try to kill Payton in February. We have March. They didn't try to kill Payton in March. We have April. They didn't try to kill her in April. We have all of May, except the very last day, and they didn't try to kill her. We have May 31st. They go, actually May 30th, I'm sorry. They go to Morgan's after school. They don't try to kill her in the late afternoon. They go to Skateland. They don't try to kill her at Skateland. They come home. They don't kill her then. They go to bed. Plan is we're going to get up in the middle of the night and then we're going to kill her. But they don't do that. They wait till the next morning. The next morning, they don't kill her at Morgan's. They go to the park, play on the playground. They don't kill her there. They go in the bathroom. Don't try to kill her there. Finally, they go into the woods. We have this knife being passed back and forth. That's when it happens. Kill or be killed. Immediate and inescapable harm. It's not true. State's position is not based on vengeance. It's based on what's true. Ms. McMahon mentioned the statement to KN that Anissa made. KN's the only other person that Anissa told about what was going on. And what did she tell KN? To become a proxy, we have to kill someone. Don't worry, it's not you. She never tells KN, I gotta kill Payton or Slender Man's gonna kill me or my family. Doesn't tell Payton or doesn't tell KN that this is kill or be killed. We want to become proxies. We learned from one of the teachers that Anissa was a tattletale at school, to some extent. If there was a problem, she had no problem standing up for herself, going to a teacher and saying, you know, these girls are giving me a hard time, or they're bothering me, or... You think if she truly believed then that Slender Man was going to kill her or her family, she wouldn't have told somebody? It didn't happen because she didn't believe it at that time. Let's look at what she told Lieutenant Moorman. Remember Lieutenant Moorman? He was the sheriff's deputy wearing the brown uniform. He took the stand and testified that he was the one that took Anissa into custody, and she was scared at the time. And the statement she made to him was, some people were going to kill my family unless I did something very bad. Well, she told Detective Trussoni that she had learned that from Morgan after the fact, when they were on this hike, this walk, this plan to go to the Nicolay Forest. During that walk, Morgan had said, oh, Anissa, by the way, I made a deal with Slender Man, and if we didn't do this, he was free to kill our families. That scared Anissa. Absolutely. Same way Morgan was trying to scare Payton, giving her emails about creepypasta stuff. That's when Anissa became scared. And it was because of that that she told Lieutenant Moorman, some people were going to kill my family unless I did something very bad. If she truly believed since December or January that Slender Man was going to kill her family, if that's what motivated her, then after they stabbed Payton, she had no reason to be afraid. They did what Slender Man was requiring. He wasn't going to kill him because they killed. She didn't know whether Payton was alive or not. There was no reason for her to make that statement to Lieutenant Moorman because they had satisfied what Slender Man wanted them to do. There was no more reason for her to be scared. The reason she made that statement to Lieutenant Moorman is because it was after the fact that Morgan scared her. And it further shows that this was not done out of some fear that Slender Man would kill her or her family. You also need to take a look at how cold and calculated this plan was, especially on the morning of May 31st. You heard Detective Fisher testify about what Payton, the victim, told her. They were playing quizzes that morning at Morgan's house, and Anissa quizzed her, what if someone came up to you and started to try and stab you? This was preparation. This was planning. This was an effort on Anissa's part to find out, how's Payton going to react when we start to stab her? This is cold, calculated planning at that time. This is not somebody who, at that time, can't comply with the requirements of the law. Please don't forget in all of this that this was a brutal crime. Payton was stabbed at Anissa's direction 19 times. She was in the hospital for days, and she stated, I could have died. Anissa, after the stabbing, led her deeper into the woods so she would die. Payton said, I'm pretty sure they wanted me to stop moving around and talking so people wouldn't find me. They left her there even though their houses were only a few blocks away. Payton got out of the woods only to collapse on the grass. She couldn't move, she couldn't breathe, she couldn't see. Anissa ran away because she wanted to prove the skeptics wrong. They wanted to become proxies, but Anissa wanted to keep her friendship with Morgan. Again, this really, if you boil this whole thing down, it's very simple. It comes down to, did she have to or did she want to? If you find she had to, if she really believed Slender Man was going to kill her or her family, well, then maybe she couldn't comply with the requirements of the law. But this wasn't a had to. This wasn't a kill or be killed. The silly thing about this was, I didn't immediately know I was in danger until after Morgan stabbed Payton. That's what she told Detective Trussoni. That's the truth. It was not kill or be killed. It was a want. And because it was a want, she could comply with the requirements of the law. It was a choice. A want is a choice. And it was a choice that she needs to be held criminally responsible for. The defense has not proven in this case that this was done at the time because she couldn't comply with the requirements of the law. There's no way you can be reasonably certain about that based on this evidence in this case, despite the fact that 3 doctors testified and gave their opinion that she couldn't comply. Their opinions, again, are based on their belief that this was a compulsion, and it's just not true. Thank you.